Our next session is a celebration of the extraordinary potential when digital innovation intertwines with the timeless realms of arts, culture, and tourism. We're bringing together a remarkable group of thought leaders, visionaries who are not just navigating this dynamic landscape, but actively shaping it. They are the architects of a future where Asian traditions are revitalized through AI, where virtual realities make distant cultures accessible to all, and where data-driven insights craft personalized journeys that leave lasting impressions. Please join me in warmly welcoming our distinguished panelists for Illuminating Journeys, digital innovation breathing new life into arts, culture, and tourism across borders, which is powered by Lenovo, our strategic AI technology partner. Let's welcome our moderator, Ms. Emily Cheung, co-founder and CEO, Appreciator.io. Welcome. And also our panelist, Professor Thomas C.C. Wong, President, Hong Kong Research Institute of Cultural and Creative Industries Development. Mr. Paul Tam, Executive Director, Performing Arts, West Kowloon Cultural District Authority. Mr. Adam Cironis, Head of Information Systems and Digitalization, National Museum in Czechia. Mr. Harris Ming, Senior Manager, AI-Powered Vertical Solutions, AP Solutions and Services Group, Lenovo Hong Kong Limited. Welcome our moderator and panelists. And now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome our panelists on stage. I'll pass the floor to Emily. Emily, over to you now.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Delft 2025. I'm Emily. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I'm co-founder of Appreciator.io. Today, we are very happy to welcome the distinguished guests from the cultural sectors across institutions, West Kowloon District, a special guest from Czech Republic, and also Lenovo. As we all know that now the technology is developing very fast, especially the AR, AI, all this kind of trend. My first question is, how do you guys see the technology is changing the cultural sectors? So before that, maybe you guys can use 2 minutes to introduce who are you, and then where you are from, and what is your job mainly for the cultural sectors. Starting from Professor Thomas.
Thank you, Emily. My name is Thomas Wong. My focus is more on culture and art and how we can bring them together with tokenization, RWA, and finances. So this is what I have been doing for the past couple of years. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Wong. Paul?
Hi, this is way too comfortable. I have to bring myself back out. Okay, so my name is Paul Tam. I am the Executive Director of Performing Arts at the West Kowloon Cultural District. And so I have to be the least tech-savvy person on this panel. And so my work is to bring wonderful, high-quality, world-class live performing arts to the audiences of Hong Kong and across the world. And so, as you may know, live performing arts is probably one of the latest adapter of technology, because it's hard to translate live performance through streaming and any other kind of means. But this is the future. So I came from the world of analog, and so now I'm adjusting myself every single day. So that's my story.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Adam?
Hello, Emily. My name is Adam Cironis, and I'm from Prague, Czechia. That's Central Europe. And I'm actually, I work as a head of information systems and digitization at the National Museum. And I was responsible as a project manager for a project of a mobile application, National Museum in Your Pocket, which includes augmented reality of our iconic fin whale. So that's what I want to talk about. Thank you.
Yes. Very nice project.
Hey, good
Harris.
morning, everyone. Yeah, my name is Harris. So I'm from the Lenovo. So in Lenovo, we have a lot of new technologies. So my role is actually to bring our partner to use these kind of technologies into different industries. So including the arts, the cultural, and tourism. Thank you.
Thank you for our distinguished speaker. Maybe I can start the first questions to Professor Thomas. As last 2 years, I've been doing a project also digitalize the Van Gogh Site Foundation's the heritage to become the real world assets. I'm very curious about your perspective. How do you see that happen? And what kind of research or things that you're doing towards these directions you can share with the audience?
Thank you. I think technology is very important. It is the seamless fusion among art, culture, finance, and IPs. So let me start with the most important thing, the content and product. Because in the cyber world, everything is intangible. So if we start, but we must have a content and a product to start with. And this is where art, culture, technology, and industry comes in. What we want to do is to make all this content and product to become a bankable and ownable. That means we can own them. This will be our raw material. If we were the chef, we need meat, we need vegetables, we need ingredients. So content and products are the ingredients. But all this content IP, without a legal protection, they are vulnerable. And this is where Hong Kong comes in. With our rule of law, with our common law system, we will be able to protect this and authenticate, protect, and govern so that the global investor will have confidence in this. Okay, now that the IP is secure, what we want to do is technology. So that is where Cyberport comes in. Cyberport nurture a lot of tech community where we can use them. For example, RWA, for example, tokenizations. So to me, blockchain is not just a cryptocurrency. It's a ledger of provenance. It's a platform for frictionalization. And it's a gateway for immersive experience. So we need the tech talents from Cyberport to help us. And last but not the least, this is where Hong Kong is very good at, finance center. We need financialization. This brings us to RWA. So we are talking about unlocking all these values and turn them into liquid. It's just like blood in our human bodies. If the blood is not circulating, then it's no good to us. So content, technology, rule of law, and finance. So we need a seamless fusion of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Wong. I love the terms that you mentioned about the chef, because we have two chefs on the stage, Adam and Paul. I love analog as well. I visit a lot of museums in my life. Adam, can you share the interesting digital transformations that you guys are making in the National Museum in Prague? I know you guys are doing a lot of amazing things. Maybe you can share one cases about the AR technologies that you are working on or you already launched in the museum.
Yes, I think for museums, AR is really a great tool how to get a deeper immersion with its visitors. So that's a beautiful way how to display the exhibits and collection items we have. So that's from the visitor's perspective. And also I think with AI, it's a great tool for our creators because it can enhance the data and also help with finding errors and do some validation and find some correlations. So that's definitely interesting technology for us.
I know that the artifacts that the museum collections is over 200 million. So it's a lot, right? And how is the process of starting to digitalize them, and what are the challenges that you haven't been encountered since the first day? I think a few years ago, you're starting on this kind of things. What are the challenges? How do you tackle it?
So actually, we have 20 million collection items, which is a lot. And currently, the biggest challenge for us is to get one CMS, one collection management system, where would all the data be? So we need to merge the data into one system. And also, second challenge is to digitize the data, because currently we have only around 4 to 5 million records in electronic evidence. All of that data are on analog, basically paper cards. So that's a huge digitization process. And I think we will be working on it for like 5 to 10 years.
Great. And Paul, actually, performance art is one of the things that Appreciator have been experimenting in our first year to try to digitalize. We find it a little bit difficult, but we're working towards on it. And I know that you are from this background. How do you see the digital elements, this kind of technology, AI, all these kind of things, playing a role to enhancing the performance arts industry, growing or helping the artists to become more expressive for the performance?
So as I mentioned earlier, there's inherent issues with live performing arts translated through technology. And so, but it doesn't mean like, we should not like, step forward, because that is the future. We have to embrace the future. And so also part of the matter is that our young audiences, it's always about, for us, it's always about finding the new audiences. And so people like me, we came from the world of analog. But like, kids in their teens and 20s, they actually grew up with technology. So we have to find an interface and common ground with the new audiences. And that's the only way we can survive. And so it's actually like, a matter of necessity that we actually embrace technology. And so just to give you an idea, so stage, live performing arts, always been at the forefront of technology. It's not like, we're at some backwaters of technology. If you look at Shakespeare time, and so all those play on stage, they're hoisted by manual labor. And so when you actually have, let's say the rigging from the 16th century or the 17th century, and so on stage, they were actually hoisted by sailors, and because that's what they did on the ships. And so back in those days, all this technology were done by hands, manually. And so throughout the years, and so when you do like, pyrotechnics on stage, you could actually burn down the theater because it's actually live fire, real fire. And so technology actually gives us this opportunity to try out new technology, new stage effects that like, it's actually more safe and more interesting. And so just to give you an idea, recently I was in Beijing at the NCPA, the National Performing Arts Center, to see Die Valkyrie, the second opera of the Ring Cycle, Wagner. And so back in those days, it's a fantastical fairy tale, gods and goddesses kind of an opera. And so a lot of scenes from the fantastical world, the forest, the fairies and whatnot, the fire. And so back in those days, it's just very complicated. And so what they did and in Beijing was that they partnered with a projection imaging agency from Italy, DWalk. And so the whole thing turned into projections, all three sides of the stage. And so it's just, it gives it like a bit of a Marvel movie kind of feel to it, but it just makes it so much more relevant to our times and place and culture. And so, and that's just to give you one idea how technology can actually make live performing arts interesting and relevant to our time. And so this is especially important for classical arts because it's composed 200 years ago, 300 years ago, how to make these things relevant to people like us here in Hong Kong, present time, and present region. I think that's the most important thing that we can actually learn so that we can actually survive and thrive in the future.
Nice. I'm very curious, and I would like to go to Beijing to see the opera.
It's every year.
Okay.
So it's the third
It's
opera
already
next
passed.
year. So
Okay.
I'm advertising for NCPA.
Cool. And Harris, I know that Lenovo is launching different kind of AI technologies to help the cultural sectors and tourism sectors to transform and building better engagement. Can you share with us some of the showcases or the solutions that you guys implement in China, Shanghai, or Hong Kong to helping on the tourism sector?
Yes, sure. I think in the past, if you only have a 2D pictures, it's very difficult to create a 3D models. But now with the generative AI, all you need is actually a camera and software, and it's able to create a 3D model with a very good accuracy. Yeah. So Lenovo actually did a lot of projects like this. I think today we just showcase what we have collaborated with Thai Park Floating Restaurants. So in Aberdeen, right? So we use the drone and a 3D scanning camera to capture the entire restaurant from inside and out, right? And then we recreate the 3D models. So how to use the 3D model, right? So let me put you another examples, the Black Myth Wukong, right? A lot of people, they want to play the game because they want to see the Monkey King and all the beautiful scenery of Shanxi province. One of the landmarks is actually a wooden tower of over 1,000 years. So since the debut of the game, a lot of people actually went there to take the pictures and share it to the social medias. So what Lenovo did is we collaborate with Tsinghua universities. We scan the entire wooden tower and create a VR experience. So now the visitors, when they go to Shanxi, not only they can visit the wooden tower, they will be able to go to the VR experience room to see all the detailed wooden structures that normally you wouldn't be able to see it because the wooden tower will not be open every day. So that's some of the examples we have done in the past.
Very nice. As Appreciator, also doing exhibitions upstairs in shop 404 with the ceramic and porcelain journey from the east to the west. Welcome to visit. This topic, we also talk about cross-border. I'm very curious about you guys' perspective about how technologies can help the culture to cross-border, especially maybe want to hear the perspective from Adam and Paul, and how the technologies from Lenovo to help this to cross-border for the cultural sharing culture and making the bridge. And also Professor Wong can share a little bit about the trade and this digital artifact, how to create a new economic diagram. Who starts first on this topic, cross-border cultural exchange? Okay, you can do it.
Thank you. To me, technology, if it is not helping you as a human being, if it is not helping you as an individual, actually doesn't mean a lot of things. So to answer your question, how do we use technology, cultures, or even tourism to do something for me, for myself, as a human being, as an individual, as a creator? For example, RWA. Last year in July, one of the tech company, is a listed company in Shenzhen. The RWA, the rental income from the electric car poles. This is the first time. And also last year, Huangshan, one of the tourism destinations in China, also RWA, the income from the cable cars. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about something that is intangible, rental incomes. And the RWA, the 3 years in the future, rental incomes. And ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about cross-border because the assets are in China and they are raising their funds in Hong Kong. Without technology, without blockchain, without tokenization, they can never do this. If they can do it, ladies and gentlemen, whatever you are doing, you can do it as well. And with AI, the beauty of AI is lowers the barrier. Before, we need very big tech companies in order to do what we want to do because of all the initial investment. But with AI, we can now do it as an individual. We don't even need a big company. We don't even need a company to do this. So this is the beauty of AI. Thank you.
Thank you. Next one.
So the answer is multi-pronged, and so in terms of cross-border collaborations, of course, we work with different agencies. The Walk, I was talking about the agency from Italy. We're working with them on a future project, and so that part about cross-border consumption. Let's say, like, how do we actually, like, get people to come to Hong Kong? Because at the end of the day, we're live performing arts. It's actually real time in a real place. And so how do we attract people to come to West Kowloon, Hong Kong, to enjoy the art on stage, or even the museums? And so that is multi-pronged. And so first of all, like, how do we attract those people to come to Hong Kong? Cultural tourism. And so how much do we know about the potential audiences or travelers from other parts of the world, from mainland, GBA to Prague to Czech Republic? And so one thing, like, West Kowloon is investigating, investing, and working on right now is the tech partnership. How to, like, gain our database and analyze our database to our own use. How do we find them, the potential audiences, let's say in GBA and in Beijing, or like in London or in New York? And so this is one thing we are doing right now for both performing arts and museums. And so how do we draw them to Hong Kong? And the other thing is, how do we export our contents to overseas? So that's another means. And so if you look at the different models overseas, you have the National Theatre live in London, and you have the Met Opera in live from New York. And so instead of, like, you coming to them, because sometimes you're just too big to travel. And so how do you draw them to your own live stream archive? And so these two institutions actually make quite a good revenue from the streaming project initiative they have. And so right now, Performing Arts Division, I represent West Kowloon Cultural District. We're working on that. We're not there yet because we're still new. We're only about 3 years old. And so the content that we have to accumulate more. And so once we reach a critical mass, I think that is actually enough of a thing that people will actually come and log in and buy content. And so this is something we strive for, forward. And so if anyone in the audience want to talk and will help us build that archive, that bank, let me know.
Cool, maybe we can help. So how about Adam?
I think for museums, technology is a great way how to get the immersiveness and how to get the engagement and spark curiosity. But I still think that museums and visiting cultural institutions is very personal and a social event. So when you go to museum or gallery, you want to spend time with the people you love, or you might go there for a date. And we think that we should spark the curiosity in people, and actually data from our app approve this phenomenon, because 35% of our users actually listen to the audio guides when they are not in the building, and they listen it as a podcast. So they go to the building, they see something interesting, and then when they get home, they want to find more. So that's where I think technology is a great use for us.
Perfect. And Harris, how do you think with the technologies facilitating a cross-border cultural exchange?
Yes. If I take an example of how to digitize an artwork, right? So I think today we have the technologies to digitize the artwork and put it on the internet very easily. And probably we can create a 3D virtual museum. So now you go beyond the physical boundary, and you can outreach to a larger group of audience. But actually it doesn't just end there, right? Because the people actually want to see the actual artwork. So eventually they will come back to the museum, and we provide them like a lot of even more experience in the physical museum, right? So that's actually a kind of an upward spiral, so to help the industry to continue to grow. Like even the people, they are not like locally in Hong Kong, because of your internet, your virtual museum, people will know about the artwork and come. Yeah.
Very interesting. So the last 5 minutes, I want to focus to get your perspective about the creator economy and also the artist collaborations, because Appreciator is doing a lot of these kind of things on blockchain. We can credit the creator, donating to the foundations. And how do you guys see all this new technology, including blockchain or AI, to beneficials to the whole industry? Not just about the brand, the museum, or the artist. It's about the whole. What is your perspective towards technologies, developments, to build to bring the all people who working in the industry to grow faster and get the benefit from it?
Maybe I will start first. Okay. So your question is about artists, about creator. So we're talking about human beings. The main difference between human beings and all this technology is emotion. So I'm thinking about AI or emotional AI. Depending on your character, depending on who you are, and depending on the big data that technology is collecting from outside, what you see from the culture IPs are different. They are tailor-made to you based on who you are, what you do, and the big data they collect from outside. And the other two keywords is ownable and bankable. If it is bankable, it will be financially benefiting to you. It will help you to put food on your table. If it is ownable, that means it's easier for you to get in touch with your audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. How about the other three gentlemen?
Okay, I think for us, it's really reducing the costs to produce content, and it might also help developers and maybe even people that do not know how to code to create amazing apps. So I think it will make everything easier and faster to deliver. And also I think it might help with doing, for example, for museums, personalization of the content, because if the app or if the phone will know your interests, it can recommend you what you want to see, or it can recommend you short or long roads inside a museum. So those are definitely things that I think we will see more in the future.
Get it.
Okay, so I like what you said about emotions, and it's because I think arts, the core of any art is about emotions, human emotions, and so science is actually a tool, a means, and so so science progresses throughout times, and so nowadays like AI and AR and VR. But I think at the end of the day, that goes back to emotion. So I think that's one thing different between a robot and us. We have emotions, at least like now. I think that's the difference now. I don't know about 10 years from now. But so I think at the end of the day, artists always come first. So to me, technology should not be the most important thing, the priority. It's always about the story, the ideas, and what the artists want to convey. And so if science can actually help, great. If just mind you, in my world, there's still a lot of artists who don't really use technology, and they use the most basic analog kind of delivery, and they still produce the best arts. And so at the end of the day, using science or not, I think it's really up to, at the end of the day, how you actually connect with your audiences. And if that emotion is just raw and real, and the delivery can be anything, at the end of the day, it's actually the receiving end feeling that. And so I think that since you asked about the creators' side of things, and so I think that's always in my world, it's always the artist actually come first.
Thank you, I agree. And Harris, you want to round this up?
Yeah, I think just as a user, right? If today I go to a museum, I don't mind to pay another $100 for audio-visual guides. Because without the audio-visual guides, if I go to the museum, probably I would just stay in front of the artwork for maximum 20 seconds. But if I have the video and audio guide, I'll be able to listen to stories behind, I'll read the text, and eventually it's more engaging and I enjoy the entire experience more. So I think at the end it's all about the entire user experience. So when you go into a museum or just to appreciate an artwork, so eventually when people they can understand this better experience, they would love to pay for it.
Thank you so much. There is so much valuable information and perspective on the stage. And thank you for the 4 speakers, and welcome to follow them on LinkedIn, which I did already. And thank you very much again for the stage, and I pass back to the MC. Thank you.